Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Steve with LRM Leasing. Today we're going to talk about a previous video that I did not long ago about the brake light staying on and draining your batteries down. Now we're going to get into what is causing that problem. So what I have today is I have a Freightliner Cascadia, which is the same thing that you're going to have the issue with. We're going to take a look at two areas, right? It's going to be your brake switch as well as your drag brake switch. I'm going to show you what we see inside them that causes this light to stay on, and also to go ahead and we're going to replace those two switches. I'm going to show you where they're located on the truck, also what tools you're going to need, and then I'm going to have my good friends that are videotaping this, right? We're going to put up a picture of the diagram for this particular truck of where it's located as well. Now, not all Freightliners are the same. What you could always do just to be on the safe side is reach out to your Freightliner dealership. Hopefully you guys are on good terms, and you can ask them for a printout of where the brake switches are located on your air manifold, so you can make sure you pull the right switch and you don't do the one by accident. So what I'm going to do is on this particular Freightliner behind us, right, it's a 2018. I'm going to show you where the switches are located, and I'm going to tell you what tools. So let's just dive right into that. All right guys, so again, we're back at this Freightliner Cascadia 2018, and what I'm going to do right now is we're going to post a sign right here of the diagram of the air brake switches, which should be 4 and 7. That would be your brake switch as well as your drag brake switch. All right, and when you see those are, you look for the orientation on the picture, and you would go right to your air manifold and find where those switches are located. Now I'm going to show you, because I've already pulled out a switch, what a bad one will look like. Now, you guys don't have computers, and the reason why I say replace those two switches, because it's a good chance that you're going to see them both plugged up, and a computer could narrow down to which one that you need. But let's be honest, these switches, they're not that expensive, and they're right next to each other, so you guys can knock them out like that, and then you're good to go. As you can see right here, and we'll probably do a close-up, you'll see where there's rust and everything build up, and that's because condensation is building up in your air system. And you're like, oh, how do you get the condensation out of your system? That's maintenance on your air dryer. Remember to start replacing that air dryer cartridge, which I made a video about. So guys, hit that up so you can maintain your air system so you don't have this issue that much. When you have condensation, rust will build up, and you can see like there's a little pinhole. So what happens is that the air is not flowing through it or not releasing, and that's the reason why the lights are staying on. And this is what a brand new one looks like. Nice, clean, clear hole. And then sometimes, depending on what Freightliner you have, you'll get a new switch, and sometimes it comes with a pigtail whip that you would have to switch over. And it's very easy. All you do is plug and play. You just plug it into the old harness, and then it'll just plug into the new sensor. Not all Freightliners do that, but some of them will. When you see that little pigtail, or the parts person says you may need one, just don't freak out. It's just plug and play. It's very simple. Remember, diagram, right? 4 and 7, that's going to be your parking brake as well as your drag brake. All right, once you find the orientation of those, if it's me, get 2 different color zip ties, right? Maybe blue, so you know you can put one around the base, right, of your switch, and then the other blue one on the other, so now you know blue and blue go together, so you don't get those plugs mixed up when you unplug them both. And then do like orange around the other base, and then another orange on the other. So my bad, you need 4 zip ties, but 2 of the same color. So blue and blue and orange, orange, or whatever colors you may like. But at least you won't lose orientation, because when you move them out of your way, because it is a tight spot, you don't get confused. So small little colorful zip ties will help this along. Next thing you'll need is, I like using a small ratchet, right? It's very small. This is a 3/8. And you know, as you can see, it's not as big as my hand, and it's great for small areas. It has a flex head as well. And then I use a reducer, right, which goes from a 3/8 to a 1/2 inch, because the socket that I'm going to use is a 1/2 inch socket, and then it's inch and 1/16. And what I'll do is it'll fit right in there nicely. Now it's not going to go in deep. All we need to do is just get where we get a good bite, and we can pop this off so it'll look really nice. And then not only that, you don't have to worry about, you know, forcing it on. It helps screw it in as well. So these will fit in here real nice. Now on this particular truck, there was a little kick panel that we have to move. It's held in by 2 screws. This one's happened to be missing. Sometimes they are. It's not a big deal, but if you need to, it's going to be a T25 torque bit, right? I use a gun, just make life a lot faster. You can do a little wrench, but you would have to remove a kick panel first, and then we're gonna see the switches and air lines. And then what you do is you take that diagram once again, and find which one will orientate to the switches on your air manifold. Once you find those, you just unplug them, put the zip ties so you orientate them, and then you just start unscrewing, and then you screw the new ones in. That simple. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna hop in the truck, and I have my guys point out which switches, so you can see it on this particular truck. Again, 2018 Freightliner Cascadia. So let's do that real quick. All right, so as you can see from the diagram, it's the very top left-hand corner one. So I would unplug this as well as unscrew the sensor here. And then right below it is the next one, which you'll see right here. And again, I would unplug it and then unscrew it. And like I said, put a little zip tie around here in the corners so you don't get them mixed up. And then do the same thing on the plug on the other side, so you know that this plug goes with this sensor. And then it's easy peasy. And here is where the panel would be. And you just remove this screw, and it comes out. You could remove a little bit more just to have more access to open it up, which is not a bad idea. So it's maybe 2 panels you might want to open so you can see from the side as well as up. And to get your hand, depending on how big your hand is, to get in there. It is kind of tight, and that's the reason why I use that small ratchet to get my hand in there. And as you guys can see, it'll be a little tight, but you can get in there. All right guys, so a quick recap, right? This is when you have a brake light switch staying on after you turn the vehicle off. Now you know what to do. So what we're gonna do is, remember, we're gonna replace the 2 switches, a brake switch as well as your drag brake switch. And the reason why we're doing that is because a lot of drivers don't have computers to narrow it down. And let's be honest, it's just cheaper to knock them both out. And we already know that there's a good chance that they're gonna be messed up anyway, so it doesn't hurt, and you knock them both out. Then you guys already know about the tools. You can remove that one panel. Highly recommended probably to remove both panels so you can just have more room, one to see, and if you have big hands. That will be a T25 to remove. And then just remember, I would recommend a short ratchet, 3/8, with a reducer from a 1/2 inch to a 3/8. And then a deep socket. It doesn't have to be impact. I have impact sockets, but you can do chrome, but that's gonna be 1 1/16 socket. And just remember guys, it's not gonna go all the way in. All we wanna do is just to grab, all right? And then one more thing, when it comes to Freightliner, I just wanna make it clear that you guys get with your dealership so you know which one it is. Ask them for the orientation of where your brake switches are. They'll send you over a picture. It'll look pretty much close to my diagram, right? They should have numbers and give you locations of the name of where they're at, all right? And once you find that, you find the orientation, now you know what your switches are. That easy, easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. Want to wrap it up saying I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So if you like what you saw, pound the like button. If you have any comments or anything that you saw that you want answered, leave me a comment at the bottom. And guys, I want to send more stuff your way. You gotta subscribe. See you guys around.